God morning. We begin with a deep breath as we do every morning. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. Welcome to your new life. Welcome to ultimate reality. Welcome. Breathe deeply. Several deep breaths, clear the mind. Touch ultimate reality. Leave behind the three-dimensional world of form. And access ultimate reality. This we do through our meditation here now. Breathe. And remember who you are, that you are an infinite being, far beyond time and space, far beyond the world of form. And that our 3 lessons over the last 3 days have clearly drawn a distinction between the world of form and the real world. Yesterday, we meditated in the real world several times throughout the day. And now we prepare ourselves for this next lesson. In A Course in Miracles, lesson 131. Breathe and clear the mind. Breathe and clear the mind. We open our eyes and engage A Course in Miracles, lesson 131. Just think, it's a brand new day. Here you are, breaking past all limitations. Here you are, being spectacular and magnificent. Here you are, answering the call of your soul and doing what you came here to do. Look at you being spectacular, magnificent, sharing your gifts with the world, giving, and completely a portal for love, ultimate reality. Creating according to the pattern of bliss, ecstasy, beauty. Look at you. How spectacular are you? Screen share. Here we go. Grand Rising, Miriam, Barbara, Black Women Stand Up, Yoli, Randy. How love tubers this morning? How are the love tubers? Lesson 131. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. You cannot fail when you seek to reach the truth. You cannot fail. Tell yourself, no one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. If you're seeking to reach the truth, you cannot fail. Failure is all about while you seek. Failure is all about you while you seek for goals that cannot be achieved. Pardon me. Failure is all about you while you seek for goals that cannot be achieved. Remember, we spoke of the unreal world, and we spoke of the unreal world being a world where appearances can be disturbing. This real world has nothing whatever to do with ultimate reality. And so in the unreal world, we were seeking for goals that could not be achieved. We were looking for love outside of ourselves. We were looking for greater abundance from a sense of lack. We were looking for things that could not be achieved. We had goals that would not ever be achieved in that paradigm. And because we couldn't achieve them, we called it failure. You look for permanence in the impermanent. We wanted to make things stay exactly how we like them. Like we got all our little blocks lined up, stacked up, and we like how they were, and we didn't want it to change. We wanted to stay there. And what we understand about the unreal world is that a constant in the unreal world is change. Look at the sky, it's always changing. Look at you, you're always changing. Yet we got attached, you got married to a person, and then they changed. And we didn't like that they changed. You didn't used to do that. Well, we grow, we evolve, we learn more, we become new. We're always changing. So we were looking for the permanent in the impermanent. For love where there is none. We were looking for love in all the wrong places. We were looking for love from other people, from outside of ourselves. We were looking for this one to love us and that one to love us in the unreal world. Do you see why we would have had to have failed at these things? We were looking for safety in the midst of danger. We were thinking that if we were inside the 3D construct, it's a construct, that from inside the 3D construct, we believed that there was a disease or death or sickness that could get us. So therefore, we put up some kind of protection in the 3D. This is not anything against anything that anyone is doing in the 3D. It doesn't matter. I'm not pro-vax or anti-vax. I'm not pro-mask or anti-mask. I'm not any of those things. I'm neutral to all things because all things in the third dimension are neutral. They're whatever you say they are. We were looking for safety in that. Oh, please keep me safe. Governments, keep us safe. Pharma, big pharma, keep us safe. Can they keep you safe if you have a mind that's full of danger? No. Immortality within the darkness of the dream of death. There's a dream that you die. And we were looking for ways to take something or rub something on or ingest something. Or, I heard about the billionaires now that are taking blood and plasma and getting it injected. And blood is a huge business. I think it's like now the number one export in the United States. Blood is big business. And you notice that blood banks are in all the poorer or lower income neighborhoods, and people come to give their blood, and they get paid, what, $80 or something like that. And a billionaire can get this plasma injected into them from a teenager for something like, thousands of dollars. It's a huge markup on blood and plasma. Looking, and the billionaires say, and this is not all billionaires, this is just this particular one said, I'm very close to immortality, because he's getting some plasma injected into his veins from someone else who's young and 15, 16, or 18 or 19. They're in college, they don't have money, and so they come and they give blood and they give plasma, and you have to recover from that because you just gave your vital life force energy on this dimensional plane you just gave it up. And this is what we would call vampirism. You don't need someone to come and stick fangs into your neck. There's a lot of ways that vampires operate. Looking for immortality in a dream of death. And you wouldn't need any of that if you knew the real world, because in the real world, you can't die. You're unkillable, you're infinite, you exist forever. Who could succeed where contradiction is the setting of his searching? See, the playing field that we're on, trying to do these things, is the playing field of contradiction and the place to which he comes to find stability. It's a world of contradictions. It's unreal. And we know that there's something not real about it. Some people call it a simulation. Goals that are meaningless are not attained. Wow. That would have saved me a lot of time and energy and effort had I known that decades ago. Goals that are meaningless are not attained. There's no way to reach them, for the means by which you strive for them are meaningless as they are. There's no way to attain immortality in a dream of death. There's no way to reach them, for the means by which you strive for them are meaningless as they are. Who can use such senseless means and hope through them to gain in anything? Where can they lead? And what could they achieve that offers any hope of being real? You're going to keep propping yourself up with plasma every day. Give me more plasma, more plasma. What happens if you can't get some plasma? Pursuit of the imagined leads to death, because it is the search for nothingness. And while you seek for life, you ask for death. In the dream, this is all happening in the dream, the unreal world where diseases live and parasites, and something can jump on you, and you can fall in love and fall out of love, and you can be heartbroken, you can be abandoned, you can be stabbed in the back, you can be betrayed. There's a war breaking out every 10 minutes. The money is going bad. People are getting sick, getting old, and dying. And this is all being perceived by the five senses. And what an incredible, incredible evolutionary psychologist that I spent the whole day with yesterday via YouTube as I was driving. I'm on a road trip, and I'm currently going to 3 events that are quite important to me. And as I was spending the whole day with Donald Hoffman, please look him up, Donald D. Hoffman, where he is an evolutionary scientist. He's a scientist, and in concert with his colleagues, they have all said, several of them, not so many in the evolutionary psychology field and neuroscientists and the scientists that deal with the brain, more on the side of the physics, the quantum physics, physicists and evolutionary biologists. They have come to the conclusion that there's no time space. Time space is a total construct. Now, they came to that apart from spirituality, which is spirituality. I already told you there's no such thing as time space, that there's a world beyond this world, that this world is an illusory world. And Dr. Hoffman called it icon. Your body is an icon for something in ultimate reality. That's mind-blowing. He wrote the book, read it, The Case Against Reality. This is not reality. This is a construct that we're in. And the scientists are saying it. Look up, space-time is doomed, from the scientists. Now, there's a saying that says, science scales the great mountain of truth to reach the top, only to find the gurus already sitting there. The gurus and the yogis and the saints and the mystics have already been telling us this for a long time, for thousands of years. Why? And the shamans and all of them, the witches, because they went to that world. As Dr. Hoffman referred to it, Professor Hoffman referred to it as agents, that there are agents in this ultimate reality. And he also said that nothing you perceive with your 5 senses has anything to do with ultimate reality. That is the exact same thing the Course is telling you. That if your 5 senses can pick it up, it is a representation, it is a dumbed down version, it is a stunt double for ultimate reality, which cannot even be approached with the 5 senses and is beyond space-time. It's really squirrely to think of these things. So what we're talking about here is not merely from a book who one of the agents in ultimate reality dictated. I don't even want to use the word dictated, because dictation sounds like a dictator, offered to someone who had asked for answers. Helen Schuchman, who was also a professor and tenured professor in a very prestigious university, I believe it was Columbia University, and her colleagues, they were just not getting along. Right. And she was like, we need something, we need help. We can't keep doing this. And that's when she began to hear the voice, capital V, voice for God, Christ speaking to her. And she began to have dreams as she began to write down what the voice was saying. And here we have, it took about 7 years to scribe it. That's why she doesn't call herself the author. She wasn't the author of it. She connected with an agent in ultimate reality. You can call them different things. Some call them Orisha, some call them, I call them angels. Some call them ascended masters. Some call them, gods, goddesses. There are many agents. He calls them agents because that's a non-religious word that works well for scientists. I like that. That's ultimate reality. So while you're here in the matrix, the simulation, the construct, you look for safety and security, while in your heart you pray for danger and protection from the little dream, for the little dream you made. Yet searching is inevitable here. You have to keep searching because you don't have it. For this you came, and you will surely do the thing you came for. But the world cannot dictate the goal for which you search unless you give it power to do so. Nothing outside of yourself has the power to tell you what to do and what to search for. You don't have to search for safety. You can know you're already safe. You don't have to search for something to keep you live, immortal in the dream. I don't want to fucking stay in this dream forever. There's a bigger, greater reality that all of us you dipped into this reality to look around and for consciousness to look at, oh, these are fingers. Oh, this is what being Black in America looks like. And then it'll dip, and then this self that is me, right, will dip back into the ultimate reality. And then it'll dip in as maybe a pear or something. Oh, okay. And then it'll dip back into ultimate reality. We've already observed this, that energy is always coming into form, coming out of form, coming into form, coming out of form. And you are that which is coming into form and coming out of form. You are not the form. The form is a representation. When you look at me, this is not me. It's so funny, isn't it? That we are convinced that this is Valerie Love. The real me is unseeable, and the real me has no name. And the same for you. The real you, we have never seen the real you. We could not see the real you with these eyes, and the real you has no name. You're nameless, you're timeless. But in this dream construct, you have to keep searching. Otherwise, so what we are establishing here, what the course is establishing for us is that nothing outside of you can dictate what you search for. You decide what's valuable to you. You decide what you want to search for. Otherwise, you still are free to choose a goal that lies beyond the world and every worldly thought. And one that comes to you from an idea relinquished yet remembered, old yet new, an echo of a heritage forgot, yet holding everything you really want. That deep inside your mind, you have an inkling. Yes, we have a knowing that something is calling us higher. Something is beckoning. There's something more than this. And we've sat on a rock and looked at the sunset yesterday on my drive. I just looked at the sunset and I was in awe, like, oh, look at the sunset. We know there's something more. We always ask the question, what's my life for? There's something more than get up, go to work, get some money, come home, pay your bills, get your kids, go to Disney, come home. Well, maybe not go to Disney anymore with all the stuff they're doing, but do this, do that. You know that there's more, because when you get to a certain point, after you run around in the rat race for a while, it's running around little hamster wheel, on the little hamster wheel. And after a while, you say, wait a minute, is there more? Every time I ask that question in the universe says yes. Be glad that search you must. You must search for answers. That's why we're here every morning. We're looking for answers. We desire to be an ultimate reality. We have learned that, whoa, my mind is creating some magnificent things. What if I could tap into that? What if I could hone it? What if I could become a Christ and command the elements and command my whole life? An untrained mind can accomplish nothing. What if I could hone all these superpowers that I have? Be glad as well to learn you search for heaven and must find the goal you really want. You're searching for ultimate reality. And the Course calls it heaven. We could call it nirvana. We could call it Valhalla, right? We could call it, you could call it whatever you like, darling. The universe does not care about the names and our little labels that we put on things. The names are simply indicators, indicating something greater, something larger, that which we cannot name. No one can fail to want this goal and reach it in the end. You cannot fail. If you really want the goal of ultimate reality, like I love that scene in the movie. I love movies. I love that scene in the movie where the Will Smith character is speaking to his mentor in Men in Black. And I believe this was the third Men in Black, one of those movies. And the Will Smith character came to, I think it was V's house or whatever his initial was. And he had, it's this secret silo in his house of weapons, weaponry for the aliens, quote unquote aliens, right? That's the premise of the movie. And he said to him, do you want to know what's beyond this? And he said, yes, like the Will Smith character was like, yes, tell it to me, tell it to me. And he told him something. And then he said in the conversation, the Will Smith character was standing there like he knew there was something more, like your intuition is telling you there's something more. There's something people are not telling me. A lot of people are waking up to that. And the mentor character said, I promised you the secrets to the universe and nothing more. And Will Smith looked at him like, well, what's more? We want the more. I promised you the secrets to the universe and nothing more. You mean after I get the secrets to the universe, there's more? Yes, there's more. I want it. God's son cannot seek vainly. You are the offspring. You are the representation, the children of this universe. You can't seek vainly, though he try to force delay, deceive himself, and think that it is hell he seeks. We think we're looking for, how can I stay alive forever in the dream of death? How can I get people to love me when I don't love myself? How can I create abundance from lack? You're bound to fail at all of these things. You're bound to fail. You're bound to fail. What you will not fail at is seeking the truth if you really want it. If you're ready to do these three things, don't try to force delay. Force delay, put it on the brakes, put it on the brakes, put it on the brakes. I kept having the sense that I was putting on the brakes and spirit was driving my car. Ultimate reality, source, God, whatever you like to call it. Ultimate reality was driving my car, and yet I was putting on the brakes. That's forcing delay, delaying, because we're so afraid of where we're going. You know, you see something, you see an angel, you see, you have this extreme experience and you just get afraid. You know, you're in an ayahuasca experience and you talk to some archon or some incredible being that you never saw before. And it's like, what was that? Oh my God, I'm never doing that again. You know, when we get the glimpses of ultimate reality, we get afraid. So we're forcing delay, like we're going an inch at a time. And Sadhguru says in his book, incredible book, in Inner Engineering, he says in that book that everyone wants the same thing, ultimate reality, the all. You want the all. Yeah, we're all doing it incrementally. You're getting a little bit bigger. You're going from an apartment to a townhouse. Then you go from a townhouse to a single family house. Then you go from a single family house to a mansion. Yeah, we're doing it incrementally. You know, I get this amount of muscles and this amount of body fat, and then I get a little bit less body fat and a little bit more muscle. Then I get a little bit less, you know, stop it. And what truth is telling us is You can have ultimate reality right now. It's a decision and you can't fail. Stop forcing delay. Don't deceive yourself. We, I discovered something incredible yesterday from this evolutionary biologist, evolutionary psychologist. Actually, he's a quantitative psychologist because he deals in math, and which I love. He said that there was a statement made by, I don't remember the name of the scientist that made this statement yet. The best liar, here's the best liar. The best liar and the most compelling liar, the most successful liar. Here's the most successful liar right here is the liar who has deceived themselves to believe what they're telling you. That's the best liar. See, because if you're trying to lie and tell someone something that you don't really believe, you're going to give it away. You're trying to play poker and you're going to have some kind of tell that there's an inner dissonance between what you're trying to put across and what you really believe. There's a dissonance, and we're humans. So no matter how much we try to hone that and be a better liar and a better liar and a better liar, and I was a great liar because I would make everything on the outside seem fabulous, and in the inside I was dying. That's a lie of sorts, right? So the best liar is the one who deeply believes what they're telling you, that we need to kill all these people, and they believe it. They have deceived themselves and now are trying to deceive you. Please do not, and you can tell these people because when they're speaking to you, they are convinced of the craziest, most nonsensical things you can imagine. And they tell it to you with a level and depth of conviction because they've already deceived themselves. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for the self-deceit. We're good at deceiving ourselves. I'm good at talking myself into anything I want to talk myself into. I'm real good at that. Don't do it. And think that it is hell he seeks. We are seeking for hell when we're seeking for love where it is not. When he is wrong, he finds correction. When he wanders off, he is led back to his appointed task. What we are saying here is that we're all children of the universe, just coming into form, playing the game, the fun game of consciousness, knowing itself, consciousness expanding, consciousness having experiences. That's all. That's why you just want to keep having experiences. Consciousness having experiences. And through consciousness having these experiences, it knows itself. The universe knows itself. It knows all. Well, when we're in this construct, because it's so compelling and so convincing, we start to think we're really humans. So we wander off. We're wandering around in the third dimension and we get corrected. We're wandering off. We get corrected. That's love. No one remains in hell. For no one can abandon his creator. No one cannot be in ultimate reality, nor affect his perfect, timeless, and unchanging love. You cannot thwart the perfect, timeless, unchanging love of the universe. You cannot thwart the universe. You cannot. Now you can hurt yourself trying. You cannot thwart the universe. You will find heaven. Ultimate reality is all there is. We live in a construct. Okay, I live in a construct. Let me go beyond the construct every day. Let me take time and invest in myself and invest in going to ultimate reality so that I know who I really am. Everything you seek but this will fall away. It'll all fall away. You'll start to see the holes and cracks in the matrix. Oh, there was a deja vu. The little cat went and did it again. It's like, oh, a glitch in the matrix. You'll start to see that because the construct, it's not that the construct is falling away. It's a pretty good construct. It serves a purpose. The construct is not real. So you will begin to see the unreality of the construct. It will go because you do not want it. You don't want to be fooled anymore. You don't want to be in the dream. You will reach the goal you really want as certainly as God created you in sinlessness. You're sinless, timeless, holy, forever, ultimate reality, forever of ultimate reality. Why wait for heaven? It is here today. Time is the great illusion. It is past or in the future. Time is the great illusion. It is past or in the future. Great illusion. Now, here we have quantum physicists, the physicists, not just the quantum physicists, the physicists and the evolutionary biologists, both saying the same thing. Two great pillars of science, as Dr. Hoffman called them, two great pillars of science are both saying time space is doomed. It's over. We thought time space was the bedrock of our whole existence. And what they're saying is it's not. We have to go beyond time space. Whoa. Whoa. And now they're looking for what's beyond time space. And they found, are you ready for this? So far, they've found patterns, like shapes that are synchronic. They have a synchronicity to them. Is your tinfoil hat on or off? Because this sounds like stuff you need to get your. Do I need to get my tinfoil hat, Kaisi? You just might, because this stuff is woohoo if you tell it to an ordinary bird, but you're not the ordinary bird. You are a very different being that's like, I always knew there was more. Like, even when I was a kid, I was like, you're seeing a lot of things as a kid. You're seeing the people. And when you're a kid, you can see past the construct really easily. You can see the imaginary friends, all the agents, you can still see them. And you knew there was a lot more. Now it's all being confirmed for you. Time is an illusion, yet this cannot be if it were God wills his son to be. How could the will of God be in the past or yet to happen? How could the will of God be in the past or in the future? How could the past or the future even be real? Point to the past. Where is it? Point to it. Put your finger right now on the past. You know about here now. You know about here now. This eternal, yes. This eternal now. This, you know about this, because this is all there is. Go find the past and bring it to us and put it right here on this table. Go find the future and bring it to us right here. Show it to us. Where's the future? Show it to us. You've never seen it. You've never gone to it. No one's ever seen it. Where's the past? You can't put your finger on it. You can't find it. What happened to it? It doesn't exist. If it existed, wouldn't you have evidence of it? Wouldn't you be able to go get it? No one can. Stop looking for it. Stop looking for the past. Stop looking for the future. They don't exist. They're nothingness. Now, this is what we have. And that's what you've always had. Eckhart Tolle told us. What he wills is now. What you will is now. Without a past and wholly futureless. There's no future. There's no time and space. There's no past. Okay, now what am I going to do with myself? There's now. What you will is now. It is as far removed from time as is a tiny candle from a distant star, or what you choose from what you really want. What you really want is so far removed from time, it's not even funny. Heaven remains your one alternative to the strange world you made in all its ways, its shifting patterns and uncertain goals, its painful pleasures and its tragic joys. How come a joy has to be accompanied with something tragic? How come pleasure has to have pain? How come it has to keep shifting and things keep changing, and one day you're happy and one second you're not? God made no contradictions. Ultimate reality doesn't hold any contradictions within itself. It would implode. A house divided against itself cannot stand. What denies its own existence and attacks itself is not of him. It can't be an ultimate reality and be against something else in ultimate reality. It doesn't happen. He did not make two minds, with heaven as the glad effect of one, and earth the other's sorry outcome, which is heaven's opposite in every way. Oh, earth is just a disaster. Did God really make two worlds and then send you to one and say, be happy in a crappy world? That's not how it works. That is not how it works. God does not suffer conflict. There's no conflict in ultimate reality, in source, in the whole, whatever's beyond time and space. They haven't named it yet. Oh, well, that's what we would call God, the quantum field, or it's even beyond the quantum field now as we are understanding it. What's beyond time and space? The all. They're just calling it ultimate reality, or we could call it spirit, or you could call it infinite intelligence. The all. There's no conflict in the all, nor is his creation split in two. There's no two different things going on in the all. How could it be his son could be in hell when God himself established him in heaven? How could you be in hell when your true home is ultimate reality? All you would want to do is get in contact with it. And remember that this is the real you. Could he lose what the eternal will has given him to be his home forever? Can you lose what ultimate reality has given you? Of course not. Let us not try longer to impose an alien will upon God's single purpose. He is here because he wills to be, and what he wills is present now beyond the reach of time. That what you really desire and what you really will accomplish is beyond the reach of time. Today, we will not choose a paradox in place of truth. How could the Son of God make time to take away the will of God? How can you introduce time into the ultimate reality and think that time is now going to change the ultimate reality, when the ultimate reality is the all and time space is a fly on the behind of an elephant? That's time space. Time space, or space time, is a fly on the back of an elephant. And the elephant doesn't even represent quantum, the ultimate reality, because ultimate reality is infinite, it's even far beyond the elephant. A fly. How could you think that a fly could change the will of the elephant? That's what we think. God does not suffer conflict, nor is his creation split in two. How could it be his son could be in hell when God himself established him in heaven? We read that one already. Today we will not choose paradox. Thank you. We read that one already. He thinks he made hell. Okay, here we are. How could the Son of God make time to take away the will of God? He thus denies himself and contradicts what has no opposite. He thinks he made a hell opposing heaven and believes that he abides on what does not exist, while heaven is the place he cannot find. We really believe that the construct is the ultimate. That's what we believe. Well, not the scientists that are looking like, hey guys, space time, it's over. There's something beyond space time. What? Yeah, guys, there's something beyond space time. Haven't the spiritual people said it all along? Same thing, same thing. Leave foolish thoughts like these behind today and turn your mind to true ideas instead. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. And it is truth we seek to reach today. We will devote 10 minutes to this goal 3 times today. 10 minutes 3 times today to the goal of ultimate reality. And we will ask to see the rising of the real world to replace the foolish images that we hold dear with true ideas arising in the place of thoughts that have no meaning, no effect, and neither source nor substance in the truth. This, if you listen to Dr. Hoffman, he said this: nothing that your 5 senses provide you with, as far as information is concerned, has anything to do with ultimate reality. I was gobsmacked, as they say in the UK. Gobsmacked. Nothing. I was gobsmacked not because I didn't know that, or understand that this is exactly what we teach in forever, what for millennia. All the saints and the yogis have told us this. It's because I heard it coming out of the mouth of a scientist and he had the smoking gun for it. He had the proof, he had the mathematical equations to back it up. I like that. This we acknowledge as we start upon our practice periods. Begin with this. I ask to see a different world and think a different world, a different kind of thought from those I made. I ask to see a different world. I ask to come out of the construct and think a different kind of thought from those I made. The world I did not make alone. The thoughts I want to think are not my own. For several minutes, watch your mind and see, although your eyes are closed, the senseless world you think is real. Review the thoughts. Just watch your mind, watch your mind, watch your mind. Review the thoughts as well, which are compatible with such a world and which you think are true. Look at the thoughts. Disease. I can catch a disease. There's a book called Contagion that shows that it cannot be possible for you to catch anything from anyone. We know this. You've been around people that had something, you didn't get it. It's not a law that because someone next to you has it, that you have to get it. We know that there is a lot more factors to it than that. These are some of the thoughts. Just the thought contagion. That's a thought that goes through a lot of people's minds. Is it true? Did we ever test it? Did we ever stab it and see if it would die? If the truth doesn't die if you stab it. I like to stab things. Is it true? Is it not true? Punch it up real good. And then you start to see these things fall apart. Because if it has an exception, it can't be truth. Then let them go and sink below them to the holy place where they cannot enter, where they can enter not. There is a door beneath them in your mind, which you could not completely lock to hide what lies beyond. That in your mind, there's the doorway to ultimate reality, and you would have to go beneath or beyond the thoughts that are stuck in the time space, in the space time. Seek for that door and find it. What the Course is saying is that there is a portal in your consciousness. There's a door, a portal to ultimate reality. How do you enter the portal? Many ways. Many ways. I've done it through meditation, plant medicine. Orgasm is one of the best ways to go through the portal. You can't not go through the portal if you have an orgasm. You're in ultimate reality when you're orgasmic. Now, people, sometimes they meditate, sometimes they're in ultimate reality, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're just thinking, but they're thinking with their eyes closed. You could have a plant medicine experience. Many plant medicine experiences, you're drinking and it just hurls you into ultimate reality with a guide, whether depending on what kind of plant medicine, because these plant medicines, like the Dr. Hoffman said, are agents that can help you. Powerful agents. So seek for that door and find it in your mind, the doorway to ultimate reality. But before you try to open it, remind yourself no one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. And it is this request you make today. Before you reach your hand out and put it on the knob, and you turn the knob and you open the door. Before you open it, tell yourself, I can't fail, because this is what's really going on. Nothing but this has any meaning now. No other goal is valued now nor sought. Nothing before this door you really want, and only what lies past it do you seek. I want the secrets to the universe and more. Put out your hand and see how easily the door swings open with one intent to go beyond it. I'm going beyond space-time. I'm going to ultimate reality. Angels light the way so that all darkness vanishes, and you are standing in a light so bright and clear that you can understand all things you see. A tiny moment of surprise, perhaps, will make you pause before you realize the world you see before you in the light reflects the truth you knew and did not quite forget in wandering away in dreams while we were wandering around in the third dimension, fighting with people and bickering and doing all the little petty things that little petty humans do. Deceiving ourselves, deceiving others, getting high, getting drunk, sexing people, eating tons of sugar, getting fat, getting overweight, being weak, being depressed, being a victim, all of that. Yeah. You don't want to escape that dream. You don't want to leave that dream. You don't want to go beyond that dream. Go beyond. You cannot fail today. There walks with you the Spirit heaven sent you, that you might approach this door someday, and through his aid slip effortlessly past it to the light. You see, when you go into ultimate reality, there's no up and down, there's no polarity, there's no paradoxes to solve. There are no problems. There is simply ultimate reality and its infinitude of the all. It's beyond the words that I could even offer. All my words fall flat before this thing. Today, that day has come. Today, God keeps his ancient promise to his holy son, as does his son remember his to him. This is a day of gladness, for we come to the appointed time and place where you will find the goal of all your searching here. We were searching in the construct, searching. What's the meaning of my life? We didn't think to go beyond the construct. The scientists were making everything based on the construct. Well, it's like this, because we have space-time. We have space-time. And we didn't think to, oh, wait a minute. Hey, guys, what's that door over there? Well, I don't know. Let's open it and see. Oh, wow, guys, it's the door to ultimate reality. Let's go through it. We're all doing it. We're all doing it together in different fields of endeavor. We're going through the door, the portal. Strap your seatbelt on. Dorothy, you are not in Kansas. Be glad. This is a day of gladness, for we come to the appointed time and place where you will find the goal of all your searching here and all the seeking of the world, which end together as you pass beyond the door. You pass through that door, you're not ever going to be in this world seeking and striving for things where it's not. You just be like, well, I had fun doing that for a while. I'm not going to do that anymore because that's not ultimate truth. Do you still have your first rattle that you played with as a baby? Do you still have your first spoon that they ever fed you food with as a baby? You know, that little spoon with the little rubber around it so you wouldn't chew on it. Do you still have your first blanket as a baby? Do you still have the fat pencil that you wrote with when you were in kindergarten? Do you still have all the shoes you wore when you were going to preschool? Do you still have all your outfits? You don't have that stuff because you don't need it. It just fell away. Maybe you carried your blankie for a while and eventually one day gave up the blankie. That's how human evolution works. You get something better and you drop the thing you had before. No one still has their whole baby attire, their whole baby get up. You're not a baby anymore. You don't have your toddler stuff. You're not a toddler anymore. You pass through these experiences. The things that you used in the construct while you were in that experience fell away. I've told you of my spiritual journey and how many things have fallen away in my spiritual journey in this search for what was beyond the door and where is the door and how to open the door and how to help other people open the door and how all of us can go through the door. That's been like the search of my whole life. And in the search and going through the door, I dropped a lot of things. I dropped the godless person. God's not a person. Ain't no sky gods. That's what we call them, right? Sky gods. I dropped prayer for what? What am I asking for? Go through the door of ultimate reality, and you are ultimate reality. Who are you talking to? All these things. I dropped witchcraft. What? Why am I doing this? Not because any of these things are wrong, bad. They're not. Be clear on what I'm saying. I'm saying that as you go through things, as you're evolving, you'll see that things will change in your life. You will no longer do some of the things you were doing, not because they were bad, but because they were elementary. It was a stage you passed through. You're not still doing the same thing you were in third grade and trying to still wear your third grade clothes. They don't fit anymore. And in spirituality, it's hard for us to acknowledge that. It's easy for us to acknowledge it with physical things. Oh, these shoes don't fit anymore. Mom, my feet hurt. Oh, look at you, baby. You're growing so much. Let's go get you new sneakers, new shoes for school and all that. And you're so happy you can run and you throw out those old shoes and you're like, look at my new sneakers. You're so happy because you recognize it's a milestone. You go to the little wall and the mom is making ticks on the wall that you grew. Look at you. Look at you. Do you want to be back at the first tick again? No. In spirituality, it's very difficult for us to honor that you have new ticks on the wall. Oh, and look at that other tick. And don't hate the. Do you hate that there was a scratch when you were 2 feet tall? Oh, look at that. I grew. You will celebrate it. In spirituality, people don't want to give up things that they've been doing all along because they feel bad. They feel like, well, I'm supposed to do this ritual. I'm supposed to do that. Don't do that. If it's not coming from in here, don't do it. As you go through that door, things will change in your life. Be ready. Be ready. Everything will change in your life. Once you go through that door and you come back, your hair is going to be standing up like, why do you think Albert Einstein's hair was standing up like that? Just why? Because he was in the ultimate reality. And it was like, what do I even do with this information? Well, there you have it. Remember often that today should be a time of special gladness, and refrain from dismal thoughts and meaningless laments. Stop stressing, worrying, being upset, fighting with people, blah, 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 being despondent, being sad, ain't got no money, ain't got no love. Let all of that go. Dismal thoughts and meaningless laments, lamenting the past. I shouldn't have done that. There's no such thing as the past. We already established that. You can't find it. You can't put your finger on it. You can't put it here on the table in front of us. Therefore, it doesn't exist. Don't deal in nothingness. Today is set by heaven itself to be a time of grace for you and for the world. See, when you go through the door, you make it easier for all of us to go through the door. If you forget this happy fact, remind yourself with this. Today I seek and find all that I want. My single purpose offers it to me. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. That is A Course in Miracles lesson 131. No one can fail. You cannot fail, beloved. You cannot fail. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. You cannot fail. I want our family to come to the stage, because there's something. Raise your hand and come up to the stage, because there's something that I have to share with all of us that is just so shocking. And so, isn't that the truth? Who's her namaste life? Oh my God, isn't that the truth? Who's her namaste life when YouTube says a narcissist believes every lie to be the truth? It's the craziest mirror ever. That's because that's exactly it. They have convinced themselves of the lie they're telling you. Therefore, they can stay to it to the death. And you're like, it's really a lie. Wow. That's the best liar. That is the best liar. Okay. Now I'm going to go beyond time space. Woo, come on, come on, come on. Don't we love this rabbit hole? Now, family, I want you to come up on stage and talk to us about going beyond time space. And you won't do the meditation today. We're not going to do the meditation right now. I want you to do this meditation yourself, and do it when you feel right and ready. 3 times a day, 10 minutes. We have got to talk about going beyond time space and these scientific breakthroughs. Talk to us, family. Who's first?
Well, this is the first time ever that I wanted to interrupt you while you were speaking and have you go further on orgasms to the portal, because that sounded very interesting. I'm like, oh wait, no, she can't just skim past that and start on with the next topic. Stop right there, put a pause. Okay, orgasms to alternate realities. That needs to be a book right there. Can you say more?
Yes. Orgasm is probably one of the best portals to ultimate reality. Pardon me, because when you're in, I'm getting so happy about this, because when you're in orgasm, you are not in the construct. You're not in the construct. You're completely freed of the construct. Completely. You're not in thought. I hope you might be in thought in the beginning. Oh, is this good? How are we going to do this? Okay, I'm gonna do this. Okay, and then you're building, you're approaching the door, you're approaching the portal, and then you're cast into ultimate reality. Do you really think people are chasing orgasms because they want to feel these sensations going all through the body, how pleasurable they may be? You're seeking something more. You are in ultimate reality when you are having an orgasm, and you can't not do it. It's a certainty that you're going to be in ultimate reality when you're orgasmic. It's a certainty. That's why we have all the tantric arts. The tantric arts have taught us this already. Tantra that's why they say sacred sexuality is the path to God. It is. But the Christians told you, don't have sex. Keep your legs closed. Don't let nobody see your cookies. From very young, we're conditioned to keep it all locked down, buttoned up. That sexual energy needs to flow. And you need to have many orgasms, whether you're in a partnership or not. Have as many orgasms as you want. The key is this. You want to get out of your mind. You want to get out of the construct. Is Rainbow here? Because if Rainbow was here, he could break this thing down to us. You want to get out of the construct. You're in a construct. I'll show you that you're in a construct. Yep, keep your knees together and your dress pulled down, right? Soul Whisperer, they wanted to button up and lock down that sexual energy because they knew how powerful it was. And let me ask you a question. Is there a church that you would go to if you were in ultimate reality? It makes the church look, it's fun. It's a beautiful exercise. I love all the mosques. I love all the churches. I love them, love them. We just went to the Grand Mosque in Abu Dhabi. We all cried there. Magnificent. It just won't hold it the same way because you'll know you're of ultimate reality. And when you go into a mosque, you'll be bringing ultimate reality with you. You won't be bringing your suffering and your sadness. You won't be in the construct saying, please, God, help me. Oh, my life is just trash. It'll be different. Orgasm, I'll give you a few portals right now. And see, orgasm, see, when you're having sex, right? And it's getting better, it's getting better, it's getting better. Oh, thank you, Soul Whisperer. I love this lighting in here too. I didn't even have to turn on my ring light, my portable ring light that I bring with me. I was like, whoo, I love this lighting in here. It's great. I'm in a hotel on my way to these 3 events. When you have an orgasm, you are building up. You see, the energy builds, it builds, it builds. You're in a rapture. It's building, right? So Whisperer, thank you. You are the light. Mwah. And so the energy is building, it's building. And you are coming to a crescendo. So while you're in the space of building to the orgasm, you are approaching the door, the exact same door. You can do your meditation today as an orgasm. It's the exact same thing. The 10 minutes, if you want a quickie, go and do a 10-minute, do it 3 times today. When you approach the door, as you're building the energy and the sexual experience, you open the door, you're building the energy, you're standing at the door, and when you have an orgasm, you just into the all. You feel it. You've done this a million times. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying anything strange to you. Is this helpful?
Yes, that's very helpful.
Haven't y'all done it a million times? Aren't you masters of doing it?
I guess I'm just thinking. Next time I should look around while I'm there. I don't know. I guess I never paid it attention as the ultimate reality. So next time when I'm there, I need to take a peek around.
Except you can't. You can't take a peek around. You can't use your senses. You can't do any of it. You're simply in the vastness and the absolute ecstasy and the supreme beingness. All these words can't even possibly describe ultimate reality. That is what ultimate reality is like. It's like an orgasm, a forever orgasm. That is ultimate reality. And you dipped into it when you had a. There are other ways. Let's talk about more ways. Okay, this is how I actually practice sex magic. That's it, Nia. There you have it. We've all done. Look, anybody who is a mother or father, you did sex magic. You brought a person here from doing this, whether you had an orgasm or not. All of us came here as an act of sex magic, whether your parents knew they were doing sex magic or not. Everyone here is here from sex magic. Now let's go further. Let's talk about other ways that you can go through the door. Meditation. So we already know orgasm. So the sexual path, that is the sexual path to God. That is Tantra. Does everyone know that that is Tantra? Look up the tantric arts. It teaches you how to have an orgasm with your mate from across the room by gazing each other's eyes. Nothing has touched your body. So we know that a bodily orgasm, your body is doing something. Yes, you're having an experience. You're having an experience that is far beyond the construct, the space-time continuum. You are now in ultimate reality, and you and your lover, as you gazing in their eyes, have chosen to have this experience together. And you're having an orgasm, and the person's across the room. They teach you how to have orgasms that last an hour. They teach you. This is how I learned how to have full body orgasms. This is how I learned how to intuit where the orgasm starts, because it's very fascinating. Watch where your orgasm starts. My orgasm starts on the left side of my thigh and the back of my tongue. Look at where the energy starts to come in and crescendo and morph. And you want to just take that energy and blast it through your whole being, heal everything in one night. As a matter
What's the name of this course?
Everybody's coming to that retreat.
Right, that is a retreat right there.
Okay, we need to teach that at the tantric arts. This is how I, over the years, so many things that I put into practice that I even forgot about to talk about that are extremely helpful. Well, sex is the easy way to do it because we all like it and we all want to have sex. Well, most people, not everybody likes sex. A lot of people like sex, and it's an easier way to get there for a lot of people. Isn't that incredible? Now, let's go a little further. We're going to integrate that into, because Max Tucci and I are cooking up something at his beautiful home in New York, in upstate New York, that you can get to in like no time at all from New York City. We're cooking up a fall equinox something, so we're going to teach that too. I see. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, agents of the ultimate reality. Here's another way to get through. Another way to get through the portal, opening the door, go through the portal, ultimate reality, plant medicine. Instantaneous. That's why people take plant medicine. Now, if you meditate, you can get there. You just got to keep meditating, keep years, because you have to break up the substrate. Okay, let me give you an example of how much we believe the construct. Dr. Hoffman taught this, or Donald Hoffman. His name is Donald Hoffman. Please look him up. I'm going to put his name in the chat. Please look him up. He's on Tim Ferriss. He's on, I think it's Donald B. Hoffman. And his book is called The Case Against Reality. Okay? Look it up. And what Dr. Hoffman is saying to us is that space-time is doomed. It's over. It's time to go beyond space-time. And he taught the most shocking thing about reality that you can imagine. This is what he said. He said everything that you can pick up with your five senses is an icon. Here's what he's positing. This is his theory. That when you go to your phone has icons, apps. You tap the app for your bank. It opens. It asks you for your password or some kind of authentication. Do you really know what's happening in the ultimate reality or even just in the computer world when you tap an icon? 20,000 gears moved in your phone and in the circuitry when you tapped an icon. All you did was tap an icon. Then it asks you, authenticate yourself, prove you are who you say you are, right? You put in some letters and numbers. That's what you did. You just put in letters and numbers. What happened on the other side? 50 million bits of information was hooking up how much money you're supposed to have, how to show it to you, how to make it appear, how to look orderly, how to update this, how much stuff was going on in your phone, in the computer, on the internet, and at the bank for you doing one thing: tap an icon, which probably, let's say, tap the icon made 70,000 things happen, let's say. And let's say put in your password and ID and password, or whatever, authentication. Let's say that made another 100,000 things happen. So far, you made 170,000 tiny or not so tiny things happen to get to your information. This is an example of ultimate reality. That in ultimate reality, your body is an icon. My icon, which of course says the same thing, it's a stunt double, it's a stand in for something. When you do something in the third dimension, how about move my arm? Move my arm. What am I really doing in ultimate reality to move my arm? This thing is real. This thing is really, really, it's out there. Yet if you go with it, you'll be a god on the planet. This is what we're talking about being, ye are gods. Okay. Hey lady, mwah, welcome. So when you are thinking of ultimate reality, what Donald Hoffman is saying is that we don't really even know what we're doing in ultimate reality any more than you know what you're doing in all of the computer world when you tap an icon and put in your password. Do you know what's required to send an email when it comes to when it comes to computing? How many things have to happen when you send an email? But all you know is Gmail, open Gmail, type something to, it already puts in from. Here's my message. Send. You got such the dumbed down version of what's really happening. You can tell it this is the case because remember when computers first came out and we had to do C:\\\. Remember when you actually had to type in the prompts or the code to make the computer do something? Well, we are so smart that you don't have to do that anymore. You tap the icon for Canva, all the gears move behind the icon. You open the icon, you put in a picture, you just moved about another million gears tapping something, right? That's the same way it is with ultimate reality. That move an arm. Do you know that I might have just did a million things in ultimate reality? And here it looks like move an arm. So, what he is teaching is that this construct we're in is a super dumbed down, super simple, super eye candy thing. And it only has icons, it has nothing of ultimate reality in this. He doesn't call it a simulation in this experience. Okay. Yes, I'm on Facebook. We're on Facebook right now. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, that's for Maricel asking the question. If you listen to him and if you read that book, The Case Against Reality, you will understand lesson 128, 129, 130, and 131. Let's go further. Who else?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, LaToy.
I know you said the 3 ways to get to ultimate reality, but also I think from my experience, I let go space time.
No, there's a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways to go. I'm just giving a few. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, one of my ways is doing something creative, like doing something artistic. My mind blanks out, and 1 hour can pass, and I'm thinking 5 hours have passed. So that's my one way of bypassing space time, doing something artistic and creative.
Absolutely. And
well, I just busted out laughing. I'm like, arts and crafts or orgasms? Orgasms or arts and crafts? Yep. I'm sorry.
don't apologize, because what it's telling you is basically all the things that you would love to do are the things that are taking you to ultimate reality. Isn't that beautiful? It's love. Maricel, yes, my YouTube, all my social media presence are at Val Love Inspires. At Val Love Inspires.
Lesson. It just keeps reminding you that you really don't live or exist in this world. Like, you feel beyond this world. It's tangible beyond this world. So many things can get you there. It's incredible. And thank you for this lesson. I'm complete.
Well, I thank Ultimate Reality for the lesson, for bringing it to us. I love it. Who's next?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Such a powerful lesson.
Yeah.
There were so many points in this lesson today, but ultimately, and just going through the lesson, it just took me back to the Matrix, because I think that was an ultimate lesson in alternative reality, knowing that, all we see here is not real. But then letting us know there is a world beyond what we thought or what we see here. Because even in the course, it took us to, I'm determined to see. Then we went past I'm determined to see. Then above all else, I want to see. So if I'm determined to see and I'm believing I'm seeing was real, but even before that, we give everything its value, which means everything is nothingless. It's just all nothingless until we get past, until we peel back the layers. And even with the portals, when you enter these portals to go to ultimate reality, you are truly peeling back layers, even with sex magic, because you're building up to leave where you are now, and you truly do go somewhere else. Your whole body changes, stuff moves without you moving it. Hello. Your whole nervous system changes. So you're leaving here and you're going somewhere else. Even with plant medicine, what you believe you see in front of me, when you enter those states, everything around you turns into something else. You really begin to see other things that you were not truly seeing, but that was always there.
That's right.
So I just love how this is, where this is taking us. What I would offer, like when I mentioned the Matrix, if anyone, wants to go watch it, if they haven't watched it, the Matrix, the first Matrix, it truly takes you step by step. Neo is a character in that, how he enters and goes through in that, and we know that's a story, going into an alternative reality, knowing that everything he thought behind him was not real. And they told him he's never used a muscle. I mean, and when I hear that took me to say our brains, how they say, we're only using 10% of it. So we're not really exercising it. We're not really using that which we have. So, I mean, this is just amazing. Where we going? And then you see it comes to a point where he has to make a choice. What are you going to do? And when you make this choice, when we expand, we don't retract.
That's right.
We keep expanding. Right. So you have to decide, if you're ready to expand. So, I mean, this is just awesome. It's just so many points in it. I think about the oracle providing you with what you need. And that's how I see this course. This course is taking us down a path. It's our oracle. It's our guide, giving us prompts. Come on. And it's on us how we go through this prompts, where we're going. It's giving each person what they need to take them to their own ultimate reality, which eternally we'll all end up at the same place eventually, because we're all one. I am complete.
Ooh, Coach Michelle. When he said, "Why do my eyes hurt?" and they looked at each other and looked back at Neo and said, "You've never used them." Woo! I've never used my eyes. And I've been alive for 30-something years in the Matrix. Never used the muscle. Oh. Who's next?
Good morning, everyone.
Tarika! How you loving?
Hey, Mother Kayisi. How you doing? How you doing? How you all doing? I kind of thought you invited us to the stage because you wanted to show us something. So I was kind of waiting for the demonstration, but I guess that what you just shared with us was enough. I'm still trying to process the tantra and the ways to basically dissolve your mind so you can go into the quantum field and experience this. But I just wanted to share that my favorite part that you shared was, I believe, lesson 13. Is that I think you said you'll be surprised how far open the door swings once you have the intent behind, opening it or actually trying to walk through that door. I just wanted to say that was my favorite part of this whole thing, and I'm just complete. I'm still chewing on everything, Mama Kayisi. So, yeah, and I just want to tell everyone thank you for welcoming me to the stage, and yeah, I'm just listening right now. So thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm so happy because Darika, because I ask everyone to come to the stage because this conversation is so vital now and so mind-blowing that it has implications for everything in our world. Let's look at even health. They were seeking to solve health problems in the matrix. Now think about that. Every health issue that people have, they are trying to solve it at the same level of mind that created the problem. That's why it's doomed to fail. That's why so many people say, if we have so many doctors and we have so many medications and we have more advanced medicine than we ever have, should we have way less sick people? Well, we have way more sick people. Why? Because the approach of modern science is inside the construct. It's inside space-time. In other words, it's just, you get this, they give you this pill. You get that, they cut you and take it out. Can we see that all of these, the entire approach to medicine is off? Because it is completely in the third dimensional construct. It is not at all in the ultimate reality beyond space-time, where witches, shamans, mystics, all these people go there all the time. I'm always an ultimate reality, not always an ultimate reality. You see, sometimes I'm an ultimate reality. I don't remember to put the screen share on. When you, because you just used to going to ultimate reality. When you go to ultimate reality, you see that everything in the third dimension is simply an icon for something greater in ultimate reality. So the icon may be Cancer in the third dimension. In ultimate reality, it could be that your energies are all kerfuffled. And the icon in the third dimension is Cancer. So all we ever address are the icons, the pointers. Oh, your energy is scrambled. Unscramble your energy. Do you see that the entire quote unquote modern medicine, and I'm only going to call out allopathic medicine on this one, not Ayurvedic medicine, not Chinese medicine, not the ancient medicine of the planets in Africa and all the indigenous people, not plant medicine, because they've already proven that plants have a correspondence in ultimate reality, because plants are sentient, which means plants have consciousness. So if you're a vegan and you're a vegan because you don't want to hurt animals, well, I wonder how many plants you've hurt. How about that one? Shocker.
Wow.
Did I ask the plants how they feel about it? They're conscious.
Plants are living too. Wow.
It's living. It's a sentient being. Every plant. It stunned me. I was like, wow, all those plants. Because when we take our ayahuasca experience, they have asked the plants, the shamans are talking to the plants. The ayahuasca plant told them to get this plant and put it together. And that's how we have the ayahuasca brew. The plant told them what to do. There's over 10,000 species of plants in the Amazon. How would they have known to take those two plants, put them together, and that you would go through the portal to ultimate reality? How did they know? All the shamans said the same thing. The plants told us. And Western people with our Western have to be scientific, don't believe Jack unless you put it on a spreadsheet and do a scientific equation for it. We don't believe nothing. Okay, the plant told you, whatever. Yet they don't have the problems that we have in Western society and Western civilization. So perhaps rather than completely just dismiss it, study it, find out what's going on there. But we do have the hubris that comes with us too, that says we know better than these bush people that eat plants all day. But they don't have cancer, nor diabetes, nor are they overweight, nor are they depressed. And they're completely in the cycles and rhythms of nature. And they didn't get decimated when the modern people got decimated, when the great cataclysmic flood came to this planet 12,000 years ago. It wiped out all the modern people. It didn't wipe out the people that were in attunement with nature, because they knew where to go when the great floods came, and they survived. Who's next?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you fine. How you loving?
Oh, hold on, I need to turn, because let me post to YouTube. Good morning. Good morning. I was watching the YouTube at the same time. Hello? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
I wonder why you keep asking that question when we answered it because for you already. I wonder why you keep asking that question.
In my apartment, always I have a signal problem.
Okay. I wonder if it goes to what we were talking about in Dubai. I won't share it with everybody here because that's a private conversation. Consider if it has to do with what we talked about in Dubai. Okay? And continue. You're loud and clear. We hear you. Go. All
right. Thank you. Well, actually, I'm accidentally get on the stage. My phone show up, so I just accepted that I'll be on the stage. I have a realization moment yesterday. So I tell Derica I will share today.
Oh, good.
So that's the perfect time. We were talking about beyond the reality right now, and I had 3 times the same experience. The first time is a couple of years ago when I made my twin flame. So long story short, he opened the heart chakra. He opened my heart chakra. So that experience, I never have that. When I follow Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I do the meditation and try to get to the different level of connect beyond the world, beyond a third dimension.
That's right.
So when I connect with him and take me to that field, so that's the first time I experienced my heart chakra open. And ever since that experience, I want to, find that, stay that stage. And when 222 event, when we're in the room, when I really physically meet Derica, that's the second time I had that same experience. And that, that it just be beyond word can explain. It was just like the love, the joy. And fast forward yesterday, I had the same experience. And when I watched the video, Harmony put it together for our fly dress and photo shoot.
Yes.
And at the first time, actually, I watched look at my own picture, right? And of course, a lot of people said beautiful, beautiful. But when I watched the video, she put it together, and I had the vision, and I see everybody in the video. And I completely I feel like my soul out of my body, really out of body experience. Yes. So I see the vision is beyond word.
Yes.
Can't explain the joy.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
The joy is, it can put a word.
Yes.
So I was a cry.
That's ultimate reality. That's it.
So I share with Derica. I feel like this course is a universe unfold. Take the journey my soul ever been. Yeah, completely. That's the experience I want to share with everybody.
That's ultimate reality right there, princess. That's it.
Yeah.
Because when we're in ultimate reality, there are no words, and it's just tears, and the joy is supreme. It's unbounded. It's beyond. And we've all had these experiences.
It's beyond. I just want to stay there.
And you can. You can.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. That was powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, wow, thank you for sharing that, Princess. And I guess my question would be to Rev, if that's one of the ways you experience being in the quantum field, how do you stay there and create consciously without being distracted by what's going on in front of, or what you're experiencing, like the orgasm or the tears, the crying? How do you actually combine manifestation with that, or do you just be?
Ooh, Derica, you just asked a $1 billion question right there. That is the exact question I have been asking for decades, and I found the answer. It's all of it. So, when you're in the quantum reality, and when you're in the ultimate reality, when you're in the all, there is nothing to get, right? Because you know you have all. When you're in an orgasm, are you thinking about, I got to get another $1 million while you're in the middle of the orgasm? No, because when you're in the all, you have all. It's only when you come to the world of lack that you think you need something. The ultimate reality is the all. You have all, you are all, it's all. So there is nothing missing. Now, when you come back into the construct, the third dimension, it looks like you need things. It looks like you don't have things. It looks like people don't love you. It looks like people are against you. It looks like people left you. These are not so. That's all in the construct. And the construct is being created by your mind. Now let's show that it's so here's the deal. Ultimate reality, you need nothing. You can simply be and float in infinite in ultimate reality as long as you want. When you come back to the construct, if you want to make your construct fun or more rich or more healthy, do it. That's what we say, you're playing the game, because you know you're in a virtual reality game. So if you're playing Grand Theft Auto or if you're playing Sims, don't you make the best house for your Sims? You get your little, couch, you get this, you get that. You still know you're playing a game. You know, it's not Sims is not ultimate reality, even though people do take these games seriously. You know you're playing a game. So it's both, Derica. It's ultimate reality, beingness and nothingness, and nothing to think about. Then, if you desire for your Sims house, which is the house you live in, your Sims house, if you want your Sims house to be cute, channel ultimate reality into your Sims house. And what most people are doing, this is why their money manifestations are all mucked up, all a mess, all over the place. Because when you come into the construct, you're trying to manifest from not have. We've talked about this for years on the YouTube channel. You're trying to manifest from don't have. So you just keep manifesting more don't have, because your mind is what's molding the energy. So you come back to you in this amazing orgasm, tears, or your first kiss, or a sunrise or a sunset, a baby born, your wedding. You've had all these ultimate reality moments. The thing is, we're dipping into ultimate reality, then we collapse back into the matrix. Don't collapse back into the 3D construct of space time. Every time you visit ultimate reality, which by the way is your real home, it's who you really are. If you didn't have the stunt double, the icon, like when you look at this body, you're looking at an icon on your desktop. That's what Dr. Hoffman calls it, Professor Hoffman calls it. He calls it an icon. Your body is an icon. It has nothing to do with ultimate reality whatsoever. So the first thing is knowing. You would have to know I'm in a game. You would have to have what we would call that awareness. And you would have to have awareness that I am not I'm not my icon. I am ultimate reality. It's I am. All the spiritual traditions said that. I am. So your I amness would create your I amness, which is your ultimate reality self. The I, capital S self, the I am is creating it on the third dimension. That's how you can just keep having more money and better, bigger houses and more beautiful houses and suites and anything you want on the third dimension. Wonderful lovers and wonderful friends and wonderful love in your life and wonderful vitality and health and youthfulness and vitality. You don't need anything. Why? Because you stayed as your ultimate reality, capital S self, when you came into the construct, and you're just making the construct fun and luxurious and happy and as much as you want. You never lose sight of the fact that this is a construct.
Question.
Yeah.
Okay, when you were responding to Derica, and you were saying that when you're in orgasm, in the ultimate reality, that there's nothing to do or to get, like, in that moment, and there's really nothing that you're thinking about in that moment.
That's right.
Yet people are always referring to orgasms and coupling it with sex magic.
Right.
And other than like having a baby, like when I think of sex magic, I think of using sex to manifest. And I was on a call with, I don't remember, it's been a couple of years, but it was with someone in our community that taught sex magic. And they were basically saying when you reach that orgasmic point that you are to like think about or shout out whatever it is you want to manifest. And I'll never forget after that call, I was sharing with my best friend what I had quote unquote learned, and she was like, so you mean to tell me when I'm having an orgasm and I get there, I'm supposed to yell couch, couch if I want a couch? And I'm like, well, the way I understood the class, so I feel like I am missing a great opportunity with using sex magic just because I really don't get it. So when you were responding to Derica as if, oh, when you're there, there's nothing to do or there's nothing really to think about, how are people using that space to manifest if you're not supposed to be thinking in that moment? Does that make sense?
Perfect. It's perfect. I know exactly what you're talking about. A lot of people have a lot of different ways of teaching sex magic, and I wasn't there for the whole class. I don't know the context. I don't know what the person was specifically teaching and saying, so I can't speak to what they were teaching. I can share with you my experience and what I've experienced from working with many, many, many people over the years. When you are in ultimate reality, you're not in control. That is an essential aspect of ultimate reality, that you're not in control, that you're not making something happen, that you're not remembering you have to say this word or do that. That's all the construct. The construct is I'm in control. I'm going to make this happen. I'm trying to get something that I don't have. Lack is in the construct. It's not an ultimate reality. So the whole nature of ultimate reality is that it's ultimate. And in ultimate reality, you know you don't need anything. So what are you trying to get? You have it all, and you have the experience of having it all and being it all. Being all and having all. You wouldn't ask for anything. When you're truly in, have you ever remembered to say this, that, or the other in an orgasm? I don't know. When you're having orgasms, are you trying to remember, or are you simply in the orgasm? Which one?
I'm simply in the orgasm.
Me too. Me too. Because you're in ultimate reality. And in ultimate reality, you wouldn't ask for anything, because in ultimate reality, you are it, you have it, you are all. It's only when you return to the construct that, oh, something's missing. I ain't got enough money. Oh, I need a bigger house. Oh, they better than me. Oh, I need a bigger booty. Oh, I need this. I need that. You need so many things. I mean, I tell myself these lies too, that you need things. You don't need anything for your Sims house unless you want it. Go get it if you want it. And here's the deal. This is where a lot of people's manifestations go wonky. For Derica, when you are manifesting something for the third dimension, are you trying to bring it about in the third dimension? Or are you your ultimate reality self, capital S self, that knows you have all and are all, and you just channel it into the third dimension? One would be the little self trying to make shit happen, and the other would be your ultimate reality self, knowing you already have all and you're simply channeling it into this dimension. And when I say channeling it into this dimension, please don't get it mistaken and think that I'm saying that all you have to do is just channel it in and you don't have to do any work. No, channeling is many things. Channeling is, as I write, I'm channeling. So I'm writing a book to create greater wisdom in the world, greater for many intentions. You write a book, you have many intentions, perhaps, for other people to open that door in their own consciousness and go through the portal, right? And when you're writing a book, when you're writing, aren't you channeling? When you're creating the cover, aren't you channeling? You're channeling ultimate reality into this dimension. True creation is not control. It's not. True creation is an understanding of your ultimate reality. Well, you can't even really understand your ultimate reality. It's beyond any kind of understanding or comprehension. It's you being your ultimate reality self, your whole self, as the Course says, you're whole. Nothing's wrong with you. Nothing's missing. You're not shame. You're not guilty. You're not shameful. You're not guilty. You're whole. You're innocent. You're perfect. That is what's going to channel it to your icon. And your body, this is an icon on the phone. Do you see these icons right here on the phone? This icon, look at everybody in the room, look at Harmony's icon. Is that Harmony? I mean, we know this. Look, there's Harmony's beautiful icon. Is that Harmony? Does anyone in the room think that that icon is Harmony? Anyone?
No.
Not at all. We're not confused. So what we're saying is that all these things are correspondences to the truth, that your body is an icon. That's what Dr. Hoffman is telling you, that your body is an icon. And that we don't even know ultimate reality. And he said, your icon tells you not one thing about ultimate reality whatsoever. Please look up Donald Hoffman and watch all the YouTube videos. Just let him play for a whole day. And I'm telling you, your mind will be blown. Blown. So Darika, before we go further, is that helpful with this whole idea of manifestation? Some people just threw out the whole idea of manifestation. I kind of did too. Like, well, what's it for? Because manifestation comes a lot from being inside the construct.
Did you just say manifestation comes from being inside the construct?
Yes. Because
okay, I never.
Continue.
Oh no, I'm complete. I'm listening.
Because what told you to manifest something? Something said you didn't have something. Give us an example, anyone on stage, of what you're trying to manifest. You want to manifest blank, fill in the blank. I'm a fucking master at manifestation. So I done this stuff going backwards and forwards. I have beat this thing to a pummel on the ground with heaven, and heaven showed me some things. Tell me anything you want to manifest right now.
20 countries this year.
20 countries this year. What do you require to have 20 countries, go to 20 countries this year? How come you're just not going to 20 countries? Just get up now and go. You just went to about 5, right? You went to Abu Dhabi. You went to, I don't know if it's the Emirates. It's one of the 7 Emirates. So you went to Dubai, you went to Abu Dhabi, you went to Turkey, right?
No, we went to Qatar both times.
Okay, you went to Qatar, you went to Abu Dhabi, you went to Dubai, you went to United States, you went to Mexico, correct? Did you go to Mexico this year? Did you go to Mexico this year? This is 2022.
I haven't, no. This was the first time I went out of the country. I probably would have if it had not been for my surgery, but so I'm behind the 8 ball.
Okay. So, what do you require to just go to 20 countries? Why do you have to manifest that? Just go and book your plane tickets right now and go to 20 countries.
Well, 20 countries sounds expensive. So I would think that I would need some resources to get around 20 countries.
Okay, so you believe that you will need money.
Yes.
Okay, how much? Just pick a number.
I'm going to go with $20,000. That's what popped up.
Okay, so $20,000. So something is telling you right now that you don't have $20,000. Would that be correct? Extra 20,000 laying around to go to 20 countries.
Correct.
Okay, that is the construct. The construct will always tell you that you don't have it. Do you see that we're working from a faulty premise? We're working from the premise of I don't have it. So therefore I have to manifest it. And what the physicists are telling us and the evolutionary biologists are telling us is that space-time is doomed. Look it up. Space-time is doomed. Space-time is over. It's had its run. You know, the scientists say it had a good run. It gave us a good working thesis. Now that's over. We must go beyond space-time. And they are, and they're finding some things beyond space-time. What told you you didn't have $20,000? This what told you you needed $20,000? What told you that there is even such a thing as $20,000? There's no such thing as $20,000. It's in the construct. Not one thing that's in the construct, as Dr. Hoffman, Professor Hoffman says, has anything to do with ultimate reality. They already ran the math. He said zero probability that anything, all the equations they have run, it is zero probability that anything that you are doing in the matrix, they call it space time, that anything you are doing in space time has anything to do with ultimate reality. So you see that there are multiple points where you are in the construct and not in ultimate reality. The first place that you're in the construct and not in ultimate reality is we believe there are countries. Now, I'm going to say something very bizarre that Dr. Hoffman said, and the quantum physicists have already proven this to us. Whew. Please, Spirit, help me when I say this. Help me, because this is going to blow everything to smithereens. It's not there unless you're looking at it. Quantum physics has already shown us that the observer is creating it. So by you observing it, you're creating it. If you don't observe it, it doesn't exist. He said, I have a brain. It only exists, and I'm telling you, they already have the double slit experiment. Look up the double slit experiment. Look up all these experiments the quantum physicists do. And they were shocked to find that the observer was creating the results in all their experiments, which is the same thing spirituality told you, which is the same thing the law told you, law of cause and effect, law of correspondence, law of mind, all is mind. You're doing it. Now, the reason, I'm going to tell you something shocking too. I'm telling you, just spend the day with Dr. Hoffman and all this stuff will start. And you'll get it. You'll get the course. You'll get lesson 128, 129, 130, and 131. Here's what he said. They did experiments on babies. And this is the experiment that they do on babies to show us how hooked into the construct we are. We so believe the construct that we cannot reach our ultimate reality, true self. That's what the course is breaking us out of, is breaking us out of our solid belief. We believe the construct. We believe this body so much. We're fighting over it. We believe it. Here's where you got completely hooked in and hoodwinked into the belief in the construct. 4 months old. 4 months old. Here's the experiment they did with the babies. Somewhere between 4 and 6 months is when you got so hooked into the construct, you absolutely believed it. You weren't born believing it. Because once again, you came from ultimate reality. We all did. They took a doll and held it in front of a baby. And the baby, went for the little doll, like a little rag doll, play with it. Babies reach for things. And they took the rag doll and they hid it behind a pillow. The 4-month-old will just look away because to the 4-month-old, the doll no longer exists. And that would be accurate because your observation is creation. Ooh. Now, this is how deeply we have been brainwashed and why we need the course every day. This is how deeply brainwashed we are. He said, you take that same baby, 6 months, 18 months, you take that same rag doll, you play, the baby's reaching for the rag doll, you put the rag doll behind the pillow, and the baby goes straight to the pillow, moves the pillow, and gets the rag doll. Because the baby now believes in something they call localized reality. It's not real. Oh my God, God help us with this. Source, help us with this. It's not real. The rag doll is not real. It's only there because you're looking for it and you're looking at it. In ultimate reality, it does not exist. And you knew this when you were born. I'm telling you, Dr. Hoffman will help you with all of this. And he is a scientist. He has the hard mathematics. He has the numbers. He was changed. He has a PhD from MIT. He has a PhD from MIT. He's a professor for many decades. This man knows exactly. He knows about Max Planck. He knows about all the scientists and all. I love freaking scientists. I freaking love scientists because I'm not just going to be around a bunch of woo-woo spiritual people that tell me things. I need some receipts. I've always been like that. Show me the receipts. I mean, sounds good. I can just do magic. Now I understand the mechanics of magic over the years because I studied the sciences. That's why when you come into the mystery school, we say this is magic is the art inside the magical arts and sciences. These magical arts and sciences, these are quantum levers. They're levers you're pulling. When you pick up a crystal, what is that crystal representing in the ultimate reality? What levers are you pulling and buttons are you pushing in ultimate reality? Oh my God. This is how it works. Come on, Esther. Esther, how you loving, Esther? I'm so all over Dr. I'm going to call him up, put up his book on screen share. What would you like to say about this, Dr. Jiwa? Because I know Dr. Jiwa has something to say about this.
I had to unmute myself. Sorry about that, folks. Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, it is. That matrix thing is so real. You know, being plugged into a matrix. It's so real in that. And the whole observation thing, what we're observing is what we're quote, seeing, manifesting, whatever. It always goes back to we are a download of the divine. And as a download of the divine, what we say is, because we are a download of the divine. So, whatever we say or see is, because we are creating it because we have that ability to create as a creator. So, yeah, I guess it's time to take ownership of who and what you truly are. And if you're seeing it, you're creating it. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have to mean that you are remembering every aspect of the reasons why you're creating it. Because a lot of this stuff is subconscious, that 90% of what you're seeing in front of you is influenced by your subconscious thinking. Things that have happened and that you've put in a compartment in your mind that's not on the surface level. And so if you're seeing things like people lying in front of you, or people cheating in front of you, or people, abusing. But you in this lifetime never cheated, never lied, or never abused. Just know that this is not your only lifetime. Your soul's journey has had several incarnations. And so you are holding, and we're just going to say guilt, for doing things when you were unaware of who you were. And now, in this lifetime, you are being reintroduced to your true self. And in that, you're going to have experiences that will remind you of your true self, or of the things that you need to clean up to even remember fully your true self. So don't get upset when you start seeing things in front of you or experiencing things that are not pleasant. It's just information for you on what you need to clean up on your soul's journey. When you were unaware, you lied. When you were unaware, you cheated, you stole, you raped, you killed, because you felt you were separate from God. You didn't even realize that God was a part of you. You were in survival mode. And even though right now, some of you may still be in survival mode to a certain extent, of thinking that you have to come up with something in order to have something, you're not in survival mode anymore, because now you've been introduced to the idea. You're seeing and having people in front of you talking about, you've placed people in front of you. You've created people in front of you talking about who you are. You created A Course in Miracles. These words are yours. You're remembering this. These words are not new to you, even though they seem like they're new to you. You are remembering. Everything is a remembrance, because your soul is not just this lifetime. So the allowance, I came in when you were talking about, do you have an orgasm, or do you allowing orgasm, or whatever it is. The sense of allowing who you truly are to come through is all that's required. Salvation, forgiveness is your only function, but basically giving forth the things that are impeding your awareness of your divine self is your only function. And allowing a softening of the heart, allowing of your true nature is what's required. You need do nothing other than give forth the things that are interfering with your true nature. It's already here. It's already here. So you get to be right about everything, because you are creating it. So if you are saying that the sky is green, or you see the sky is green, and you are convinced of that because you're seeing a green sky, then the sky is green because you created that. So, it's interesting. This whole quantum realm thing is interesting, and I love it. I love the fact that, it's now commonplace conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Once upon a time, it was just certain people were talking about this. The geeks and the weirdos were talking about this.
And the ones with the tinfoil hats on.
Right. And now everybody's talking about it, because everybody has within them the Christ seed. Everybody has that intersection of spirit of matter. Everybody's a download of the divine, and the remembrance of that, everybody's going to circle back to knowing who they truly are.
Mm-hmm.
And so that inkling of, there's something that this is something that I need to know, or need to remember, or need to talk about, or need to explore deeper, is a natural inkling just based on who we are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, Donald Hoffman, Professor Donald Hoffman, PhD from MIT, and a very deep thinker for decades, a premier scientist, brilliant, brilliant. He said he started reading Eckhart Tolle and he started listening to Rupert Spira because he realized that spirituality was already saying the things, as we say, science scales the greatest mountains to find the gurus and saints and yogis sitting at the top, that he recognized the correlation between science and what the spiritual people were saying, that was the same exact thing that he had found beyond space-time. So everyone promise us that you will go look up Donald Hoffman today, Donald D. Hoffman, and just listen to a few of his podcasts on YouTube. He's all over YouTube. He has a TED Talk. Watch his TED Talk. He is saying the exact same thing as lesson 128, 129, 130, and 131. And he is saying it in a non-religious way. Remember, family, everyone's not going to be able to identify with the Christ self. That is a religious term. It's a spiritual term. Scientific people do not use Christ. Why? Because that's not in their world. They use theories, hypotheses, theorems, equations, mathematics, and it's the same thing. So
well, you know what's so interesting?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
what's
yes.
so interesting about that is that the Christ is a term that predates Christianity.
Yes.
The Christ is a sacred geometry term, and basically it means the intersection of spirit and matter. That's what the Christ is. That is what the Christ is. The intersection of spirit and matter. So when you look at the symbol, the Vesica Pisces, the sign of the fish, that sign of the fish is taken from section of two circles. That middle piece is the sign of the fish. That middle piece represents the Christ. That middle piece has a mathematical value that equals, in sacred geometry terms, the Christ, the intersection of spirit and matter, the square root of 3, 36 point whatever degrees it is, in whatever ratio that is the Christ. And it has mathematical significance because of what it is and what it does.
Yes, absolutely true. And all the occultists and all the witches and the magicians, we know this. And what we know the origins of Christ. We know the divine self. And when you say Christ to the people that are not understanding of these things, like we know these things, we're preaching to the choir, family, right? When you're talking to people that don't know these things and you say Christ, what do they think? They think religion and you're going to church. If you walk to India right now and you said to the 1.5 billion people in India, Christ, it would conjure up something in their mind that may not be the intersection of spirit and matter. Yes, family? So Dr. Joe Dispenza says it very well. That's why I don't always speak in spirituality terms. Sometimes I say, well, in spirituality, we would say this. And in magic, we would say this. And if you were Buddhist, it would be this. And if you were Yoruba, it would be this. And if you were in the scientific realms, it would be this. And it's the same thing. We're all talking about the same thing. He calls it ultimate reality. Maybe someone else would call it God. Maybe someone else would call it infinite intelligence. Maybe someone else would call it. Do you see that he's calling it ultimate reality because he cannot call it God? He can't call it spirit. He's a scientist. A scientist can't say God. Well, we can't prove God. That's over. That conversation is over. Scientists he is a quantitative psychologist. Scientists require mathematics. In what they do, what do scientists do? Queen Hadassah, Dr. B is a scientist. They quote, what is a scientific process? You have a theory. You don't know if it's true or not. You get the assumptions, you put the assumptions in. It's the same thing we used to do. It's a science of financial planning. Same thing. You have a theory or you have a goal. You add in the assumptions. You do the financial plan. In science, you have a theory, you have assumptions, and then you test the theory and you get to results. And when you study the results and then you reiterate, you go back through the thing again. And like you said, we keep trying to break out theories so that we can get better theories. Everything's a theory. So when we speak of Christ, you're speaking to about 1.5, maybe 2 billion, about 1.5 billion people in the world. There's 7 billion people in the world. 5.5 billion people, you say the word Christ, okay. Maybe you get a negative connotation, maybe you get a good. You say Christ to witches, they're like, bye, girl, bye, Felicia. They're not trying to hear that. If I say to the witches, I did a spell and I spoke to an angel. If you talk to a sorcerer, he said he or she said that they spoke to. They conjured one of these agents. Now, Dr. Hoffman, this is another example. Donald Hoffman calls it agents. That there are agents. This whole ultimate reality is filled with agents. He would call it an agent. Maybe I would call it an angel. Maybe a Yoruba priestess would call it an Orisha. Maybe a Catholic person or a person who does Catholic conjure would call it a saint. Maybe, do you see we're all talking about the same thing? That's why he talks about this, and I talk about this too. Be careful of your words. Your words are pointers, but your words can also be repellers. Why? Because somebody tunes in for 5 or 10 minutes, they hear Christ, they're like, oh, this must be Christian. Okay, bye. And they're gone. When this is not Christian, this is universal. This is for everyone who desires to be their true self, ultimate reality. So that's why Christ said, be all things to all people. Well, Paul said that, actually, not Christ. Be all things to all people. What did he mean? He didn't mean that you were supposed to contort yourself into, it meant I see the littleness of how I think about things and how I see them and how I would word them. And I am willing to go beyond how I would say it to say it in a way that would be helpful for someone else. Do we understand this, family? There's 8 billion of us. We all got to get into ultimate reality. What are y'all hearing with what I'm talking about?
Well, I know for a fact when I speak that a lot of times I use Christ with me thinking about sacred geometry Christ, and not remembering being on the other side of the equation of being in the audience and and being a Christian and having Christ and having good experience with Christ or the church or anything else, and having people kind of recoil or shut down when I'm talking. And it's like, wow, okay, I have to remember that these terms that I'm using, I have to, I listen to Joe Dispenza and how he's saying the exact same thing.
Yes.
And he uses it in a way, he says it in a way that is pleasing to the ear for the general population. And so I'm learning to rephrase things when I'm speaking just for that one thing, so that the message doesn't get lost in the mix.
Yes.
Because it's easy to do when you're in a community of people who are speaking the same language and having the same understanding. And then you go outside that community and you say that same thing and it doesn't land the same way.
Yes.
Because of conditioning, grievances and perceptions on language and what those words mean. Not that the information is different, it's just the words that can get in the way. And so again, we were creating realities based on perceptions of experiences that our soul has had over lifetimes. So there's years of conditioning that we're overcoming.
Yes.
And releasing our grievances and our preferences that influence our perceptions.
That's exactly right. And Dr. Joe Dispenza is the master of this. This is how he's able to help so many people. And Spirit has been cleaning up my mouth and cleaning up my languaging, because if I use chakras, all the Christians are going to run out the door. He doesn't use chakras, even though he's talking about chakras. He will not say chakras.
Yep, energy levels. Level 1, level 2, level 3. Yeah, I love it. Same information.
Same thing.
Same thing, but people are, he allows the barrier of language and conditioning to be removed by choosing words that are palpable to the general population.
Yes, and because words are only pointers, they're not the thing. They're only pointers, right? He's using non-charged pointers.
Yes.
If you say God, the atheist just ran out the room and all that, right?
It'd be interesting to play the word association game with people on these words in the group. What's the first thing that comes up in your head when you say God or Christ or the first word? Don't filter it, just boom, right, say it out loud. And it's just be interesting to see what comes up, because that reveals a lot on conditioning.
It absolutely does. And that's why I stopped speaking in terms of soul. I really did. I haven't spoken in terms of soul in a while, because first of all, in my studies, I discovered when the concept of soul was conceived, that ultimate reality doesn't have the concept of a soul. It's continuity, of course, it's continuity. Yet how we may be thinking of soul may even be a barrier to us into opening the door. As the Course told us today, open the door and go through it to ultimate reality. May even be a barrier for us to go to ultimate reality. And if you say soul and the continuity of the soul to a scientist, or to people who only read scientific books because they don't like woo-woo, they're gone. And they're gone for no reason, because we already know that the word is just a pointer, is not the actual thing. Now, if the word was the actual thing, I would have to use the word. I could just use another word, continuity, or that there is some essence of you that continues on after the death of your icon, your physical body. If you listen to Dr. Hoffman's wordology, I'm like, this man is saying the exact same thing we say every morning in A Course in Miracles. He's saying it in scientific terms. And he even said he wished that there was a scientific church. I'm not talking about Church of Scientology. That's another story. I'm talking about that he said he would love to go to a church, because he grew up in a fundamentalist Pentecostal household. I think it was Pentecostal or Presbyterian, one of those. And he said that his father was like the pastor or something like that. When he grew up, what he said is that he would have loved to go to church if they said, hey, we have a new discovery on how you can reach ultimate reality in your meditations. He would have loved to have science in the church. Yet, because we have wordology for the Presbyterian church, what about wordology for the Baptist church? Wordology for going to the coven with the witches, a wordology for being in the bush with the shamans, a wordology for law, a wordology for science, and there the twain shall meet. They don't cross over. And when you use the wordology, people automatically associate you with that group, and they think, well, I'm not that group, so they just go somewhere else. And we don't need to do that, because we're all one. So when you hear me talk, I say, well, in Egypt, they would say this. And so in quantum physics, we would call it this. In Yoruba, we would call it this. I just reference many ways of saying it so that we all know it's all one. We're all saying the same thing.
Yep.
Max, they want sex magic at the retreat, Max. I wanted to learn more about, I started talking about orgasms this morning, and ultimate reality and orgasms. And they were like, okay, where's the retreat on that? So, okay, we can teach that too.
I started pinging Max. I pinged Dr. G. Hello. Yes, we want that. Well, here's what I know.
we having an orgasm?
Uh-oh,
Is
come
life
on.
just one big orgasm? Are we observing it or are we feeling it?
Woo!
So we can totally bring this into the big brown barn, as I call it. There's a joy. Listen, everything unfolds naturally. That's just how life is. Nature doesn't look at one another and compete. A flower blooms next to another flower. It just knows what to do instinctively. So when we're in a group together, everything will unfold naturally. And if that's the energy that's going to rise up and meet us, then we'll meet it. So whatever unfolds, unfolds, right? I mean, that's how it is.
Ashe, we're going to Max's barn. We're going to Max's barn. I'm so happy because I've been watching this barn unfold on Instagram. Like, wow, he has like a horse. Like the barn looks like a carnival. Like I wanted to go play in the barn. I'm like, only Max would find something like that for that barn. Max, tell the people about your barn and your house in New York.
Here's my reality of this structure. There's a really fun film called The Greatest Showman Ever.
Oh my God, I love that. Oh, is that the one with
P.T. Barnum?
Yeah, about P.T. Barnum. Yeah, it was amazing.
So this film, the song "This Is Me," the song "A Million Dreams," songs that really, in the past couple of years since the movie was released, have become descriptive narrative of my life. The lyrics, I close my eyes so I can see a world that's waiting there for me, that I call my own. They can say, I've lost my mind. They can call me crazy, but I'm going to build a world that I've designed. And so that song became my mantra when I was looking for a new home. And look out, because here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared. I'm not ashamed. This is me. These were lyrics, excuse me, that I took on into my reality. And when I was thinking of a place to call my home, to call my own, as the lyrics go, I didn't pick this house picked me. The barn that's there is 6,000 square feet of magic. For the last maybe 5 or 6 decades, it's been a studio for artists. The well-known artist Valerie Clairbout, who designed the angels that are in Rockefeller Center during the holidays. She designed them at the barn. Ezra Stoller, a famous photographer, mid-century architectural photographer, was his studio, and his daughters as well. Daniel Green, who was a very famous portrait artist and painted the Fortune 500 moguls and presidents and first ladies. This was his studio for the last 30 years, and his wife, Wendy Green. The energy that's in there is art. It's creation. And when everything came to place, I wanted to have a magical place for my inner child to run and play and be in.
Yes.
And so, like Valerie said, it's a carnival inside. I have this huge Indian carousel horse on the wheels from, like the Plinko wheels or whatever they call them from the fairs. And there's magic in there. There's a long table like Alice in Wonderland in the rabbit hole with multicolored chairs and a huge 14-foot Pinocchio that was from the front of Macy's during the holidays. So all of these collections that kind of just ended up there are a reflection of, if I can see it in my mind, I can create it in my reality. And what I think I can create in my reality has nothing compared to what has already been created into my reality. So the fact that I was able to line up with it, celebrate it, enjoy it, create it, and manifest it, and now here it is and I'm able to share it, is the true expression of I believe life is. When one thing comes, we give one thing. So if I have this beautiful place, I want to be able to share it, to give it to others. And so I look forward to co-creating a magical retreat, an event that will inspire, motivate, uplift, an event where we could talk about everything from orgasms to inner child. You know, it's just, these words are all made up. So when people are offended by words, I like to say, I like to offend everyone, therefore I'm covered. Because words are just words. Everything is made up. I'm somewhere, somehow on air 14 years. And the other day when I said that I was nominated for 3 awards, Val said, "Oh, Max won 3 awards." I had to call Val yesterday to say, "Hey, Val, I just got an email that I won all 3 awards." So the point of all of this is, I've over the years, Val, when I first had you on the show, Christian Witch, and I said, Val is a Christian witch, I had emails that if I go to North Carolina, they're gonna jack me.
Oh my God! You go in the Bible Belt. They got our names and faces in the post office.
I said, if you're gonna jack me for having a Christian witch on, then you're gonna jack me for the wrong thing. But there's so many things you could add to it, right? So yeah. So with that said, the barn, I like to call it the Big Brown Barn, magical setting. It was originally the dairy farm for North Salem, New York. There's a river, there's a creek, there's a waterfall. And the funny thing is, when I first saw this house, and that's just the barn, the main house is separate. When I saw this house, I said, I don't want it. At first I said, I like it. And that's my house. And then I saw another picture, I'm like, that's not my house. And then for some reason, 5 other houses didn't work out. And the reason being that this house was already calling my name. And so, so I look forward to co-creating this event with Val. And, I've been listening to this show, and I call it the show, this conversation this morning, this talk. And what I love about Val is how transparent, how real, and how authentic you are to your calling, to this calling, how inspirational you are, that you bring everyone together. This room, every morning you bring together. And I know it's not effortlessly, but it is effortlessly. And like attracts like. So whomever feels that they will be uplifted, that they will be motivated, that maybe some shit is going to crack in your life and pour out.
Yes.
We welcome you. We look forward to hosting you. My grandfather's favorite quote, and one that I use in my new book, The Delmonico Way, is all are welcome at my table. So all are welcome at my table. Doesn't mean everyone's going to come, but all are welcome. So I look forward to co-creating this with you, Val. And for those that are going to be joining us, we're just going to make magic. It's already told. It's already written in the books. So now it's our job to read it in the book that it's already written in.
Delicious. Not to mention that Max has a waterfall, like you shared. We get the bonfire. We got plant medicine, because I love plant medicine. Hey, just open the door, just push in the ultimate reality, okay? And we even have apple picking. Oh my God. Apple picking. Since I was a little girl. Inner child. Like, that's so super awesome.
Val, we were talking about the spices of the season.
Yes.
And there's not one recipe where it's not written season to taste. So when we were talking about apples and cinnamon and spices, this was our conversation yesterday for like an hour and a half.
I know, right?
And bonfires and the smells.
Oh, yeah.
We are in a position and in a time and space and the illusion of time, or wherever we are in all this, where we get to season to taste our lives. So if we feel that our lives need a little bit more seasoning, a little more salt, a little more sugar, a little more cayenne pepper, a little more fire, whatever it is, a little more turmeric, a little more curry, we get to spice our life, I think, at this retreat. And so I look forward to the spices of the season, and also to be able to spice up our life. And how beautiful to spice up the life, talk about sexual energy, and to talk about orgasms. That's the ultimate spice in life.
Hello.
In the bed. And so we can bring that to wherever we need. So I look forward to this. And I love how watching this unfold in 24 hours, what it's turning into. So I know it's going to be powerful and magic. So I look forward to it.
It's creating itself. It's creating itself. And I love when things like that happen, because that's how it's ultimate reality. It's unfolding itself. It's calling all the people to it that want, desire, and require it. It's an unfoldment. It's an unfoldment in ultimate reality, and I am completely 150% on board. I think we had Kristen. Kristen, did Kristen leave the room? Did she have to? Do you know, Harmony? Can you message Kristen? I want to hear from her.
Yes, but both her and her husband are not in the room. Yes, I will message them.
Okay, good. Because I wanted to hear from them before we wrap up. Family, please. Hoffman, Donald Hoffman. One of the big things that I'm receiving from this today, from this delicious unfoldment, is ultimate reality doesn't have words, doesn't have race, doesn't have skin color, it doesn't have um, up, down, all around, it doesn't have differences, it doesn't have any of the things that are in the construct, the space time construct. It is a construct. And not only is it a construct from the perspective of spirituality, we now have the smoking gun that it's a construct because we have the mathematical equations to prove it. Remember, family, electricity was here long before we came up with it. We're kind of slow to get things. It took us millennia on the planet to get electricity. We got electricity in the 1800s. How long have humans been on this planet? Tens of thousands of years. And it took us tens of thousands of years to discover electricity. We're kind of slow on the draw. So we've got to be patient and loving and kind with ourselves. Because if it took us that long to discover electricity, how long is it going to take us to discover what's beyond time space? Well, you don't have to wait for that process. You can hop into quantum, the infinite reality, the ultimate reality right now. Kristen, talk to us. Uh-oh, looks like Kristen's on the phone. What did Kristen? Okay, Kristen, I want to hear from you. Yes, I want to hear from you and Mr. Lester. How are you all?
Oh, hello.
What it do?
Both of you guys are here. Hey,
oh, yeah.
Yes, continue.
Yes, but yeah, we're about to head out to the 5-star restaurant, the 54th floor. I'm laughing because it's so funny. Of like, this whole conversation is what I've been focusing on for the past couple of days and weeks, ever since Quantum Leap, and just that release of letting go of the outcome. And like one of the things I said for Quantum Leap, one of my intentions was up level, just luxury and all this sort of thing. So we're being treated, you don't have to pay for anything, to this cool sushi place. I hope we find something vegetarian, vegan there. But anyway, just in the sense of what I wanted to add to the conversation is we watched Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and that is absolutely...
They took me to see that on Mother's Day. OMG.
Yes. It's, oh my gosh. I mean, I don't want to give the whole movie away. It's like,
no, you got to come and talk about that tomorrow, because Doctor Strange, the multiverse, that's a whole nother 3-hour conversation.
Oh, yeah, that tomorrow then, yes. But yeah, the multiverse, and then listening to The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel-Shinn.
Yeah, Florence Scovel-Shinn. Yes, indeed.
Yes, and she talked about, I listened to the audiobook, and she was speaking of, you have to, and we had a conversation about this as well, but you have to, if you want something, come from a place of you already have it, not from the place of you don't have it. And getting into that place of the quantum field or bliss or whatever you call it, for me, I had a moment like that yesterday, and after listening to the audiobook, and I was just like, okay, divine intelligence, infinite intelligence source, whatever. I need some ideas in a whole nother song. I keep saying I'm almost done with this album, and then like song after song after song keeps getting added. But it's what I asked for, so here it is. But yeah, it just getting into that to know nothing. Like, I'm part of old me would have been like, no, we shouldn't go to the movies. We're trying to save. And it's like, no, go to the movies. And then it opens up. I think because of that faith or because of the actions, that's what's allowing other things to show up in my reality. I don't even like the word manifest either. It's too much effort. The construct for me behind it, and what I've grown up hearing, manifest is, you're working towards something. You're doing something in your carnal body, and it's not that at all. So that's pretty much all I had to say. And I absolutely love this conversation. And it really, too, with the move, we'll talk about that tomorrow. But what you were talking about with health, and like if we access that and return to home, I mean, just if we're already doing it here in this community, but as we continue to just show up more in the world as who we really are, I believe the world can truly heal. Truly, yes. We can rid our minds of masks, and there's something out to get us, and all of this. So yeah, I've just personally had a lot of quantum leaps since the quantum leap retreat in my mind and my consciousness. And yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yummy. And you know what's coming to me, Kristen, also about the quantum leap retreat? I had many quantum leaps during Quantum Leap Dubai, since Quantum Leap Dubai. And one of the things that just came to me as you were speaking about that is your consciousness has to be readied, cleared, and prepped for a quantum leap. If we are under weeds, gunk, unforgiveness, old stuff, how are you going to have quantum leaps, right? Maya Angelou said the best way to soar is to cut loose all the shit that holds you down. How are you going to soar? So get rid of the gunk, right? That's what happens when you decide to let it go. Let it all go. And Rainbow must have heard me calling him earlier, because I was like, Rainbow would have exactly the words for this. Harmony, did you ping Rainbow into the room?
I pinged Rainbow because I wanted to hear him rhyme about ultimate reality and orgasms. I know that would have been a great rhyme. I wanted to hear it.
We were looking for Rainbow because we were talking about how orgasms are a beautiful expression of the ultimate reality, that when you're in orgasm, you're not thinking, you're free, you're in ultimate reality. And then after the orgasm is over, people come back to their little life. Well, we're talking about ways of getting into your true self, your ultimate reality. Some people use plant medicine, some people just live from the ultimate reality in the little construct. So Rainbow, what have you to say about that? Oh, how you loving, Rainbow? How you loving?
Namaste, Faith. Where do you start, for fuck's sake? I got in the room and you're talking about this smoking gun. And heaven ain't coming. It's already here. Lots of new frequencies coming in, dear. And the new moon this Saturday night, the waves of frequency are just going to be filled with delights. And you're absolutely right, as always, Faith. Everybody that's getting in their own way, thinking all day, well, they're not going to see the magic that's right there in front of them through the synchronous tapestry that I see literally in terms of the electrical magnetic. And orgasms, absolutely. But think about just before that point of ejaculation or orgasming, basically. That's the purity of your Kundalini, inner child, prana or chi. That's the energy that drives the body, the electrical magnetic charge that we give off. And it's clear to me, the more and more souls just bloody well let go of that need to know or be in the flow, be in control, then they're in their own soul's flow. And that's divine, literally. We're all being awoken in this now golden time. And, I've had to learn the same as everybody. I've had good days and bad days.
Yeah.
But it's just forever magical, basically, so long as you're out that thinking brain. And what you were saying as well, she's disappeared now, obviously, about Florence, blah, blah, blah. I can't mind her surname, but she is amazingly amazing. And you actually carry very similar frequencies, by the way, just saying, in terms of the metaverse and what's occurring right now. So I bow to your authenticity, and I hope I've done your wee conversation justice.
I love it. And you said something very profound in what you shared. Did you hear it, Dr. Jiwa? He said Kundalini, prana, chi, inner child, or energy, electromagnetic energy. Did you see Dr. Jiwa? He said it 5 different ways.
Right.
The same thing.
The same thing. The same thing. Yep.
Absolutely. This is the trouble with this reality. Everything's got multiple names, for fuck's sake. I mean, look at frequency. Frequency can be resonance or vibration, because vibration hits all the inner sensation. But they're all the same, you see. And it's getting out of that pickle in the brain and just allowing it to unfold in front of you. And then you'll see the same as me. Your own gold, literally.
On YouTube, Moonwiz says, "Hi, his voice is soothing. I can hear him talk all day." I'm like, I know. We need the rainbow loop of inner sound. I don't know what you would call it. The rainbow sound loop. Just talk for like an hour and we just loop it. We want that. I would buy that.
This is what's occurring, you see. I speak from the depths of my own soul, perfectly, authentically. And that way, you can't make it up, basically. It just flows from you without even thinking, literally. I'm just looking at everything rhymes all the time for me. But ultimately, that's what's happening. Once folk can get rid of their fear and understand, that's just a perception inside the mind. So the next time your mind perceives a fear, just remind that your soul was more powerful than a spear. And destiny is always right here. Just by no longer believing in fear, then you become your own seer. So stop seeking, start feeling, and then you'll find the revealing. It's amazingly amazing, literally.
Don't you love it, Jiwa? Oh my God, I can listen to him for hours.
That's not what my ex-wife would say, by the way.
And I asked the Rainbow, how did he start speaking like that? After your ascension or your connection with spirit, everything started coming out like rhymes, like poetry. It's like, wow.
It literally does my head in at times, though, Faye. I tell you this before, for fuck's sake. I bought myself a really nice Jaguar car, right? First new car I had ever bought. And I loved it dearly until the COVID came in. I lost my job and everything. And then it was like a milestone around my neck, literally. But when I contacted them last year, because I couldn't get the bloody thing open, the key was jammed, basically, because it was all frozen up, if you know what I mean. They just couldn't get beyond the poetry that was coming out of me, you see. But I just woke up this way once the universe reconnected me, beautifully and synchronistically. And I'm kind of getting used to it these days and things just flowing through me. But even in the way that I have thoughts rushing through my mind, it always comes through for the divine, I believe, or my own soul, literally, but it's the same thing, basically. And it just always seemed to rhyme all the time.
I couldn't imagine being on the other line of customer service and getting your phone call. Like, if I was on the other side of customer service, I probably would think it was somebody playing a joke on me as well. But I love every morning that you come on and share with us. It just takes me to a place of, I don't know, I just see myself in a field of flowers in a dress spinning around and around every time you speak. And what I love most about you is that you remain so mysterious. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to your Instagram and just looked for a picture of you, any picture. There is no picture of Rainbow. It's like he just dropped straight from the divine, and he's not I don't want to say human, but that's what I'm going to say. It's like he's not even human.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting point, and I love you too dearly on myself. I don't show my image, you see, because folk are still stuck in their craniums, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And when people see a wee white Scottish man, you know, every time I go into rooms these days, I keep on hearing about the divinity of the divine feminine and not the masculine. And apparently, I'm one of the ones that's to blame for the state of the world today. If only, you know what I mean? I don't have a pot to piss in, basically. But ultimately, I just help souls go by the frequency because they don't discriminate in any way. So that's the reason why nobody gets to see the rainbow in any way.
You know, it reminds me of why we have dark retreats. You know, they have these retreats where you go, it's everything's in the dark, for you're in the dark for the entire like 7 days. And then after like the third day, you're in ultimate reality because you're no longer in, you don't have the fixation anymore on the construct, the space time, the field. So we were talking about ways that people enter ultimate reality and stay there and live from ultimate reality. And we talked about orgasm, we talked about plant medicine, like, you know, some of them just shove you out into ultimate reality. We talked about driving. One of our sweetness said it on YouTube. She said that she's just driving and driving, and I love that too. I get very hypnotic when I'm driving, especially along open road. That's why I love road trips. I'm on a road trip now, and this is where I was with spending the day. Yesterday, I was in the car for hours spending the day with Donald Hoffman. And then my mother used knitting. Some people use uh, planting and gardening to be an ultimate reality. There are infinite drumming, dancing. While we were away, we saw a whirling dervish. The whirling dervishes get there by dancing, drumming, singing. Infinite ways to live, be, touch, be in ultimate reality. Open the door in the construct, and we're not saying deny the construct in a denial space. It's that you just know it's not real, and you are living from ultimate reality, and you know what is real, and then you know how to be in this wonderful game and what to do with your avatar known as your body. Are we complete for the day? Are we going some more? What's happening?
I feel complete.
Galactic Signature. Wow. Thank you, Dr. Jiwa. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Rainbow. I love y'all so much. I love y'all so much.
Love you too. I know. Connie's gonna read our Galactic Signature for today because
oh, Connie is reading the Galactic Signature. Yay!
Yes.
I organize in order to explore, balancing, wakefulness. I seal the output of space with the rhythmic tone of equality. I am guided by my own power doubled.
I organize in order to explore, balancing wakefulness. I seal the output of space with the rhythmic tone of equality. I am guided by my own power doubled. I organize in order to explore, balancing wakefulness. I seal the output of space with the rhythmic tone of equality. I am guided by my own power doubled. Read with rhythmic Skywalker, kin 253. She read it once. She didn't know to read it 3 times, so I just read the other 2.
Oh, good. Is Connie Red Skywalker?
Yeah, she's a Red Skywalker.
Connie is a Red Skywalker. Go ahead, Connie. I knew that. I knew something was powerful about how you was walking on the planet. Okay, you're a Skywalker. That's Blood Clan, right? Blood Clan. Love it, love it, love it. All right, family. Everybody send some love to everyone here, everyone on YouTube, Facebook, all around the world, our people that are in physical form and our people that are with us that are in the quantum field, the ultimate reality, that have continued their life in a different form. We love you. You're loved, you're appreciated. Love you, fam.
Love you.
Have a beautiful day.
Nothing.
Thank you, Warrior. Thank you, Max Tucci.
Max Tucci.